Thank you so much, guys. It's my pleasure being here. Thank you, Emma. So I just done it like, I mean, I didn't expect this few audience, but I believe that you guys gonna hear me well, right? You hear me well? This is working, actually. Or do I have to wear this? Like, yeah, it's okay? All right. Okay, so I'm gonna run through just a little bit, taking the almost intermediate level of SQLing and seeing how we can find the place it in analytics. And I know that this is like a lot of things are being done like through analysis and SQL. We know that it's the language how we perceive as a programming language, but now we're gonna go like through some things to learn more about it. And I believe that the audience here is like tech savvy and you already have the information what the SQL is and how to perform it for analytics purposes. So getting back to what is it, we know that we say it like in different ways, like SQLing or SQL, but it's again structured query languages. And what is it? It's a language that helps us to communicate with the databases. Because as any types of communication, so this one also helps us to somehow get our thoughts and ideas and say the database, like what we exactly want from it, like what we need to do with it, right? So that we get that input as a result of what we're doing, right? So basically, when we have the SQL, we deal with the relational databases, and there's like a whole bunch of things that we have related to relational database management system. So it's like a whole system, and we know that it's a very strict and traditional way where we have all our database in fixed form, which is like on tabular and tables, and there's no other way that it can be like a mixture of data. So it's all accurate and all very easy to navigate with. So what we're doing, we are going to go to further slides to see what are the good things, what are the positive sides of using the SQL. So of course it's very easy to use because the syntax is so simple. That's why it has become like one of the global languages. Like no matter what you do, like in all parts of the world, SQLing is just #1 language how you work with databases. And it's very easy to use. The simple syntax. It allows you to perform all the actions and get just anything done with the data, just based on the language. Of course, then it's about the versatility because. Actually, how you extract the data, it can be like very complex performance and very complex things to do. But anyways, it allows us to make it so easy, even though it can relate to many tables. So the data can be different, it can be sorted out, but still it's a very easy way how by using SQL you can work with the databases. The next is, of course, about the portability. It doesn't matter like how your data sets can be stored. You still have the way, to interfere with it, to work with it, to extract it. That's why it's one of the things that it's about portability, but still you're able to work with the data sets, the databases. And its scalability, it's because it can be like large, it can be small, and no matter what the size about it is, the language, the SQL helps you to work with any types and any size of database. It can be like from small and even like with the terabytes. Like whoever works in the corporate world, that there are like terabytes of data that you guys need to work, and at first you do the SQLing, then you do the Pythoning, and then working in different programming languages. But yeah, that's that's the 4 things that are very powerful about SQLing nowadays in all over the world. So it's one of the must things. Since we're talking about the SQL and how to use it, so these are the points, the main points and very important points about that I want to touch a little bit upon it. So it's about the functions which you're using, let's say functions, that help you to manipulate with the data, to work with it, and get the necessary results out of it, right? I don't really have this, I didn't post the pictures with, every detail, every function that you guys doing it, and probably I believe that you already have the experience working with it. But yeah, I kind of try to put in the groups so that it's different points. You have different actions that you perform with SQL using the language. So it can be when you do the data retrieval, you input like specific actions, right? Specific words that helps you to kind of get on the coding side and how you extract and you retrieve the data. So like for instance, the first things come to select commands, where, group by, having, and order by. So these are the words, or let's say the commands that help you to interfere and they retrieve the data, to extract the data. For the data manipulation, you know what manipulation is. So when you transform the other word, how you can say that it's manipulation, but it's also data transformation. So using specific commands as update, insert, delete, which are very important because you're dealing with the existing data, with the existing tables. When you put these commands, it helps you to transform the data, and it can add your data or or delete it. So it's for me in an easier way how to explain. Like everybody is working on Excel, right? What is it? So the things that you're doing with the Excel, it's different way, but whatever the commands, specific commands you're using and you're doing with SQL, with the language, it already goes under programming. So it's basically, just to give you as a comparison, right? It's the same thing, but it's just, on another side, on the coding side. So using these commands will help you to interfere with the data, to work with it, and eventually get your result, which is like you use a lot in the reports, right? Using the SQL in getting the reports, for your business decision making. That's how. So that's how you majorly use the commands, right? The SQL language as the programming language. Anybody knows about the joining the table? How you join the table? So you know that since database can be like really large and they can be consist of like many tables, you can have you can have the commands that will help you to join it, like using different side of the join, right, left, outer, fully joins. It depends like what kind of the outcome you want to get in the end. Also. As I already compared you with the Excel, right? So it's the same as, you have, for instance, if you're working with the financial data, you can also sum up the number. You can, so it's called in the data aggregation, right? You can find the average, you can find the maximum number, the minimum number, in your data set. So that's about how you aggregate the data. The next is about the filtering and sorting. So you filtered the data is just generally to classify it because you need the specific data to be highlighted, and like commands like where and order by can be the ones that the two major commands that will help you to again work with your data set. The last two ones would be about the data manipulation, DML and DDL. It's a definition language. So using two again different sets. These are like two different, let's say, notions, how you manipulate with the data, but it's about the manipulation, it's about the definition, but still, you have specifically different commands that will help you to, again, work with the data sets. It's when you insert and update and delete, you already understand that, when you input the new information, or when you want to delete the information, or you want to update. So that's how you're using those commands for a DML, for the manipulation, again, for the transformation. And if you want to create something new, or you want to totally drop the information, right? So that's how you use the DDL commands, the definition language commands. So these are the really, really important fundamental and basic, but if you do not know this one, so it means that you cannot really perform like the next more complicated commands, like working with the data set. So these are the most important ones. And of course, it's SQLing helps us about the data management. Data management is like also about the data governance. because we know that when we have the data, we need to be sure that we are also on the side of the how we manage the whole data set, right? Because it's the property of the company, and there's about the protocols about data privacy, data integrity, data governance, data management, and that's why when you already work with the databases, it means that you already get on the side where you have this whole data management system for your company. It doesn't matter if it's like a small company or goes to mature. So the mature and the bigger the company, so data management system can be like getting like more serious. But it's already you are responsible for every piece of information, and that's how this the idea and the concept of the data management occurs. Again, I'm gonna kind of sum up the information that I've already mentioned. It can be already familiar to you, especially the ones if you already have the like your professional experience. May I know if anybody is using it like in professional or academic experiences like SQLing? Anybody's in it or no? Anyone? Do you guys use SQL like in your professional? You do? Okay. Okay, you do work. Okay, anybody gets like on academic side? Anybody's tech or non-tech? So you're on the tech side. Okay, anybody else? No, just interesting, yeah?
What's your question?
My question is like anybody is like dealing with all these things, with what I want to like SQLing, yeah. Just like maybe academically or professionally, if you're guys working with it, or I mean, you have to work with the data. Are you?
I passed university, I had a course database, it was with Postgres, but now I'm doing backend developing, so I'm working with ORM.
Okay, so you're the backend dev.
Yeah.
Okay.
Backend full stack.
So you're the full stack. Okay, but you know the conceptual like what the SQLing is, right? You know because you use it a lot, obviously. Okay, cool. You said that you already use it in professional sphere, and you as well, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Am I talking too fast? I'm sorry. Should I slow down?
No,
It's okay? All right, yeah. Okay, so whoever is having, and I already told you that one of the main principles of it is that we have the relational databases, because if we go on the non-relational databases, that's where we cannot use the SQL, right? So if you're talking about the SQLing, so it means that we have this structured and fixed data sets where we use the language, the programming language, to work with it. Again, I talked about here DDL, DDM, and aggregated functions. And again, if you're guys dealing with the financial things, so that's how majorly it's gonna specific commands or specific rules are going to help you to financially get get on the financial side of things and work with the data, and get to the final outcomes that you want to from the operations that you're having with your data sets, databases, right? And of course, you know that if you don't have this concept of querying, data querying is what's the idea of SQLing is actually built around, right? It's about querying, it's about putting the command that you get the response based on this on the database. And there's like a lot of commands that we said it helps you to filter, to extract, to manipulate, to transform your data, and eventually get to this, to get to the multiple tables or the ways how then you proceed working with. Okay, so anybody knows about the joins? Yeah, okay, so you already know about the joins. So whenever you want to, for instance, totally go on another, create something new out of the information and the data that you have, you already have, your specific, you have your specific data set. It can be like really, really, really long ones, large ones. That takes you, probably like a lot of minutes or maybe hours to work with, and you finally get, to the summary that you need. That's how these operations, the joint operations, will help you to get to, new way of seeing the data and working with it. And subqueries is, like the query is the main one, it's the main rule, but the subqueries would be already sort of like the one that's included inside. It's already the nested version of it. So when you have the kind of a large, but you want to kind of concretize, right? You want to kind of fix the idea of what you want to get out of your command and operation. That's how you get the subquery. So it means that, there's a query, but you get like a lot more like nested versions of operation, this subquery. And yeah, as I said, like filtering, it's going to like the commands like and, or, that will help you to kind of work on it and classify your data, get more like cleared. Let's say the filtering form, data filtering, it's one of the also main concepts of SQLing in analytics, dealing with data. And one of the last and main things, it's about, of course, how we deal. I already a little bit just told you. So like when you're working in very large corporations, you are signing as an employee your NDAs, right? That nobody's gonna you're not able to, but you don't have the right to disclose any information. Like for instance, you're working with your clients, customers, database, like for instance with Oracle, right? For instance, you do not have the right to disclose that information to anybody. So that's how the data integrity comes. And that's when you are already dealing with different large databases that's becoming the property of companies or the corporations. That's the data protectiveness and data integrity, and that's, data validation is very, very important thing, because based on how you manipulate, interfere the data, you have to get the right information out of it, and that's how your data integrity is called, right? So you're being honest, and you have all the information that's being in the end displayed is true, is trustworthy, and there is no fake information there. The information is not fraudulent, so that's how the data integrity is really important. And indexing is one of the things that you also need to remember, because when again dealing with larger information, with larger data sets, you have that process of continuous improvement. When you know that you have this, the efficiency needs to be improved, and indexing helps you to kind of sort out the information and get to the point when you create that between the keys, right? Where you're creating the keys, and it helps you to kind of with those indexes to navigate to the part where you say that, okay, so this is the information, the primary, this is information as, kind of dependent information. And again, it's based on the ER. It's entity relationship, how you build between the items, right? You probably know about the ERs, right? About the diagramming. So the indexing helps you to sort of navigate and point out to the most important information and kind of focus on the data that needs to be worked on with the commands, in the databases, in the data sets. So why finally we need this? Of course, it's really, really important because it all brings to the business portfolio. It's about the business operation. It's about the business turnover. And eventually why we're doing it, why we're having all this, coding and dealing with the databases, creating ones, is because we are actually working on improving the business operations, right? We are on the side of the reports, creating huge reports. Again, I will repeat it, whether it's like a small data sets, whether it's large ones. So it helps us to build the strongest report. And there's like integration of SQL, the SQL servers, it gets to integrate it to different other platforms, softwares, where you already use on more deeply on the reporting side, right? It can be like other tools like maybe BI, Power BI, and BI business intelligence tools, how you get that integration. And it's really important for creating reports, like any type of report. And again, if anybody is more on the tech side, so it's also one of the must things that you need to know if you're like on the architecture side or if you're the admin side working with the databases, or you are the one who needs to create or design the new ones. So for all this, let's say, not the titles, let's say, but functions, right? Because it's all about the functionality. You need to be the one that has to deal with the programming side of the things. It's mostly dealing with the different type of the databases, but no matter with what kind of databases you're dealing, the knowledge of the language, SQL, is the first thing that you need to kind of validate yourself, right? Yeah, it's about the most important thing about the business operations, like why we need it, like internally in the company, in any firm. And yeah, thank you. If you have any questions, please feel free. But yeah, so it was like a very quick one because thank you, because I was like, okay, it's 2 hours, so it's gonna be like a lot of people. So yeah, sure. Sure, of course. Like in any SQL server, when you already have, for instance, you need to have the report, right? But in order to work with the databases, it's not like, for instance, you do everything in a software platform, right? So in this case, when you're working with a SQL server, you have to kind of get the databases, the sort of a signal, right? What do you want to extract from it? So the next step is actually when you get the data extraction, when you extract like based on the commands that we already discussed, like a lot of the operation that you do, it finally gets you the reflected, that part of the report that you already know, the information that you need to use the report. And after that, you already integrated, as I said, like with other BI tools, and you get, you build your dashboards, you get your final and like analytical things done. But without like using the SQL, like you cannot really manipulate and work with the databases. So these are the key things that, the first things that you need to do in order to get your reports done. I mean, if you're on the server side, yeah.
And why use Postgres, not maybe SQL Server, like you said? Why use Postgres?
Why to use database, but you can use in any databases you have, this is the language, but this is the unique language, that's what it is. It's a unique language, but there are like a lot of databases, right? And so with all those systems, if it's on the relational side, if it's a relation databases, this is the only way how you use it. This is the only way, the language, how you use it to work with the database, because it's the same as like you have different people, but if you don't know the language, you cannot communicate, right? So SQL is the unique language that helps you to communicate with any sort of relational databases. And there are like numerous of them, it's not just only one. Other questions? All good? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's say thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I know there are not a lot of us, but thank you for your patience.